I need to confess something. A hug has made me more turned on than a kiss. Women have left boyfriends, cheated on lovers, and obsessed over men who never even slept with them just because of the way he hugged them. One touch, one placement of his hand, and suddenly she can't stop thinking about him. Most men hug like friends, flat, safe, forgettable, and that's why she doesn't crave you. But the man who knows these psychological tricks, he doesn't just hug her, he imprints on her body. He makes her feel something she can't explain but can't ignore. I'm Dr. Victoria Adams, your trusted men's health advisor, and I've spent over 15 years studying the neuroscience of attraction, the psychology of touch, and the biological mechanisms that create desire in the female brain. What I'm about to share with you isn't theory. It's based on research, real testimonials, and the confessions of thousands of women who've described exactly what separates a forgettable hug from one that haunts them for weeks. Here's what we're covering today. First, why most hugs fail and the 3 biological triggers that turn a simple hug into an obsession. Then, specific touch techniques that make her replay the moment for days, activating neural pathways connected to memory, emotion, and desire. And finally, the most dangerous move that leaves her craving you when you're not even there. A psychological loop that keeps you in her mind long after the physical contact has ended. This first part takes 90 seconds, and it'll completely change how you understand female desire. Hit that subscribe button because what we're covering today is based on female psychology, touch neuroscience, and real confessions from women about what actually makes them obsessed. Let's start with why most hugs are completely forgettable. The power of pacing, why slow wins every time. Every woman can feel it instantly. The difference between a man who snatches her into a hug and the one who pulls her in slow, steady, and calm. When a man rushes, it feels desperate, almost like he's afraid she'll slip away. His energy screams insecurity. But when he draws her in gradually, like he already knows she'll come closer, her body softens without permission. Her guard drops, her breathing changes, and something primal awakens. Now, here's where it gets interesting. That patience doesn't just feel confident. It feels dominant in a way that turns women on. The psychology is simple, but most men never learn it. Women are hypersensitive to pacing. Fast movements signal nervousness, fear, or neediness. They activate her threat detection system, the same neural circuitry that makes her pull away from anything that feels unstable or unpredictable. Slow movements, on the other hand, signal certainty, control, and masculine grounding. They communicate safety at a subconscious level. When a man doesn't rush to close the space, he communicates that he owns it. He's not asking permission. He's guiding her into his frame, into his reality. This is what psychologists call leading presence, and it's one of the most attractive qualities a man can demonstrate without saying a single word. Think about it this way. In the animal kingdom, the dominant male moves with deliberate calm. He doesn't scramble, he doesn't rush. His movements are measured, confident, economical. Human women, whether they realize it or not, are still wired to respond to these same signals. When you slow down your approach, you're tapping into millions of years of evolutionary psychology. Here's your rule. Never yank, never lunge. Guide. Place your hand gently on her arm or shoulder. Apply calm, steady pressure, and let her body lean into yours. When you set the pace, she feels safe, and safety is what unlocks craving. It's the foundation that allows desire to build. Move slower than you think you should. Breathe slower than you normally do. Because when you slow down the moment, she'll replay it faster in her head later. That paradox is where obsession begins. But wait, there's something else happening here that most men miss. Once she's close, where you place your hand next decides everything. The lower back, the touch that separates men from boys. There's a reason women melt when a man's hand rests on the lower back during a hug. It doesn't feel casual. It doesn't feel friendly. It feels protective and possessive at the same time. Like he's saying, "You're safe with me and you're mine in this moment." The psychology here is primal and deeply rooted in our evolutionary past. The lower back is a vulnerable spot. It's unguarded, exposed, close to her hips and the center of her femininity. When a man places his hand there with calm confidence, it taps into ancient wiring that says, "This man can protect me. This man is strong enough to lead." Most men avoid that area entirely. They stay high on the shoulders where it feels platonic, safe, like something you do with your sister or your mother. And that's exactly why those hugs are forgettable. There's no charge, no tension, no risk. But the ones who confidently take the lower back, who place their hand there with firm but gentle pressure, they separate themselves instantly. They create a moment of intimacy that feels different from every other hug she's received that week, that month, maybe even that year. And this is where it gets critical. If you want her to feel your presence, to remember you when you're not around, guide her lower back with intention. Not too low, obviously. You're not groping or being disrespectful, but firm and calm, right at that sweet spot where the curve of her spine meets her hips. That placement tells her she's with a man, not a boy. It tells her you're not afraid of intimacy, that you're comfortable with your own masculine energy. And once she feels that strength radiating through your touch, she won't forget it. That single placement can echo in her body for days. The art of the extended hold. Most men ruin the moment without even realizing it. They hug, pat the back twice like they're burping a baby, and let go too quickly. To a woman, that feels cold, dismissive, forgettable. It feels like he couldn't wait to pull away, like being close to her was uncomfortable or awkward. But the man who holds just a little longer, just 1 second past the expected release, creates a ripple effect in her mind and body that she can't ignore. That extra second is psychological gold. Here's what most people don't realize. Women are wired to notice subtle timing and rhythm in social interactions. It's part of their enhanced emotional intelligence and social awareness. When you break that expected rhythm, her brain lights up. It creates a pattern interrupt that demands her attention. If you let go too soon, it feels like rejection. Her subconscious interprets it as, he doesn't want to be close to me. But if you hold a little longer, it feels like desire, like you didn't want the moment to end. Like being close to her felt so good that you had to resist the urge to hold on even more. That extra second forces her to wonder, did he want more? Was he feeling what I was feeling? Why didn't he let go right away? Is he thinking about me the way I'm thinking about him? That question sticks in her mind like a song she can't stop humming. And it's the question that turns ordinary hugs into obsession. Here's your rule, and it's simpler than you think. Don't grip. Don't cling. Don't smother her like you're drowning and she's a life raft. Just hold a beat longer than normal, then release calmly and smoothly. That slight delay will feel like unspoken desire. She'll be the one replaying it later, wondering why it felt so different from every other hug, trying to decode what you meant by it. Keep this in mind because it connects directly to the next layer, one that's even more powerful. The lethal power of proximity, face and breath. The hug that feels normal until his cheek brushes against hers, or his breath grazes the side of her neck. That tiny, almost accidental touch is lethal. It bypasses her logical brain entirely. Her body reacts before her mind can control it or rationalize it away. A shiver down the spine, goosebumps rising on her arms, a sudden warmth spreading low in the stomach, an involuntary catch in her breathing. These aren't choices, they're automatic physiological responses. The neck is one of the most sensitive areas on a woman's body. It's intimate, vulnerable, loaded with nerve endings that are directly tied to arousal and desire. The skin there is thinner, more receptive to temperature and touch. It's an erogenous zone that most men completely ignore during everyday interactions. Most men avoid it because they don't want to cross a line or make her uncomfortable. They keep their distance, keep everything appropriate. But the man who lets his face linger close, not in a creepy or aggressive way, but with calm confidence and natural ease, creates tension so thick it lingers for days. When your breath touches her neck, even for a split second, it activates her parasympathetic nervous system. It creates a cocktail of neurochemicals, oxytocin, dopamine, and even a hint of adrenaline that floods her system and makes the moment unforgettable. Here's your rule. Don't force it. Don't lean in awkwardly or obviously. Let your face get close naturally as you draw her in for the hug. Position yourself so that as you embrace, your cheek might brush hers, or your breath might warm the side of her neck for just a moment. Breathe steady and calm. Let the warmth of your skin graze hers, then pull back as if nothing unusual happened, as if that intimacy was the most natural thing in the world. That single brush, that fleeting moment of proximity, is enough to haunt her. She'll feel ghost sensations of it hours later, lying in bed trying to sleep, replaying the moment over and over. The dangerous power of silence. Let me clear up a massive misunderstanding about what happens during the hug. Most men kill the moment with words. They hug and instantly say something to fill the space. You smell nice. I missed you. Good to see you. Or worse, a nervous joke that breaks all the tension you've built. And the second they do, the hug loses its charge. It becomes just another social interaction, explained away, categorized, and filed in her memory as nice but not special. But the man who hugs in silence, who just holds her without saying a word, that man makes her lose her balance because silence forces her to imagine what he's feeling. It creates a vacuum that her mind rushes to fill. Women are addicted to meaning and interpretation. It's how their brains are wired. When you stay silent, you starve her of clues. You give her nothing to decode, nothing to categorize, nothing to dismiss. And that uncertainty turns into obsession faster than almost anything else. Think about the hugs that stick with her, the ones she remembers months or even years later. They're almost always the ones where he said nothing, where he just breathed slow and steady, held her close, and let the moment speak for itself. Her mind goes wild in that silence. Is he thinking about me? Is he turned on right now? Does he want to kiss me? Why isn't he saying anything? What does this mean? That internal loop doesn't stop after the hug ends. It follows her all day, disrupting her focus, coloring her mood, keeping you at the center of her thoughts. Here's your rule, and it might be the most important one. Don't fill the silence. Don't break the tension with words. Hug her, hold steady, breathe slow and deep, and let the moment breathe with you. Trust the power of presence over explanation. When you stop trying to explain yourself or narrate the experience, she's the one who will explain you in her head, over and over and over, until she's completely hooked. The subtle movement that haunts her. Most men hug like statues, arms stiff, hands frozen in place. Safe, polite, utterly forgettable. But when a man moves with intention, even in the smallest way, it changes everything. One of the most dangerous touches during the hug is when his hand slides just slightly across the top of her back or shoulder blade as he begins to pull away. That little movement, barely noticeable to an outside observer, feels deliberate to her. It feels like he meant it, like he was savoring the last moment of contact. Remember this because we'll come back to it. A slow hand sliding across her shoulder doesn't feel like an accident. It feels like you wanted her to notice, like you were reluctant to let her go, like your body was trying to hold on to the connection even as you intellectually decided to end the hug. That tiny shift transforms the hug from friendly into charged. It adds a layer of sensuality that she can't quite put her finger on, but definitely can't ignore. And because it's subtle, her mind replays it, trying to decide, did he mean that? Was that just a natural movement or something more intentional? Was that just a hug or is something else happening between us? Here's your rule. Don't stay rigid like you're hugging a mannequin. Let your hand move slowly and deliberately as you break the hug. A gentle slide across the shoulder, down the back, or along the upper arm as you release her tells her body that the hug isn't really over, even when it is physically. That lingering touch creates what neuroscientists call a ghost sensation, a tactile memory that she'll keep feeling when you're gone. Hours later, she'll still feel the echo of your hand on her skin, the path it traced, the pressure and warmth it left behind. The perfect balance, strength meets tenderness. Every woman secretly wants both strength and tenderness from a man. The problem is, most men get it wrong by being all one or the other. Too soft and it feels weak, uncertain, like you're unsure of yourself or afraid to claim your masculine energy. She might feel comfortable, but she won't feel that spark of attraction, that primal pull that makes her crave more. Too firm and it feels aggressive, like you're trying to prove something or compensate for insecurity. She might feel overwhelmed or even uncomfortable, which kills attraction instantly. But the man who blends the two, who knows how to be both strong and gentle in the same moment, he creates the kind of hug that makes women melt completely. It's the paradox that her body can't resist. A firm arm around her back makes her feel protected, contained, held. It communicates masculine strength and the ability to provide safety. But a softer hand, maybe on the shoulder or lightly stroking the upper back, adds a layer of care, sensitivity, and emotional attunement. It shows her you're not just physically strong, but emotionally intelligent. That combination tells her you're strong enough to hold her and protect her, but soft enough not to hurt her. You're powerful, but controlled. Masculine, but sensitive. And that balance is absolutely addictive to the female nervous system. Here's your rule. Mix your energies deliberately. Hold her steady with one arm, firm and secure, creating that sense of being grounded and safe, while letting the other hand move with subtle softness, maybe tracing small patterns on her shoulder blade or gently stroking her upper back. The contrast creates tension that her body can't resolve. Her nervous system is getting two seemingly opposite signals at once, and that cognitive dissonance creates heightened awareness and arousal. And tension, unresolved, delicious tension, is what keeps her craving more contact with you. The move that makes her crave you, breaking first. This is the part that changes everything. This is the one that women can't resist, even when they know what's happening. The hug that makes her crave you when you're not even there. It's not about holding longer, though we've covered why that matters. It's about letting go first, before she's ready, before the moment has fully resolved. When you break the hug while her body still wants it, you create an ache she can't shake. It's psychological blue balls, if you'll excuse the expression, and it's incredibly powerful. Women are wired to desire what's withheld. It's basic scarcity principle mixed with evolutionary psychology. If you give everything instantly, if you're always available and always giving, she enjoys it but doesn't obsess over it. There's no mystery, no challenge, no pursuit. But when you stop short, when you end the hug before she does, you leave her suspended in tension. You create a gap between what she wanted and what she got, and her mind will work overtime trying to close that gap. That tension fuels imagination. She replays the hug, analyzing every detail, wondering why you pulled away first. Did you want her but controlled yourself? Did you feel the same spark she did? Are you thinking about her now? When will she see you again? Here's your rule, and it's one of the most powerful in male-female dynamics. Always be the one to end the hug first. Not abruptly, not coldly, but with calm certainty, like you're the one setting the pace and you're completely comfortable with that leadership. Pull away with confidence, like this was exactly the right amount of contact for this moment. No more and no less. That small act of restraint tells her body that the hug isn't hers to control. It's yours. You're leading the dance. And the moment she realizes that, on a subconscious level, she won't stop thinking about you. The lingering look that seals everything. Most men ruin the afterglow of a hug without even knowing it. They pull away, immediately look down or to the side, check their phone, adjust their clothes, or mumble something awkward to fill the space. But the man who lets go and then locks eyes for just 1 second longer than feels comfortable, he leaves a mark that burns into her memory. That stare makes her feel like the hug didn't actually end. It makes her feel like he's still holding her even when his arms are gone, even when there's physical space between them now. Eye contact is intimacy. It's vulnerability. It's soul-to-soul connection. And when paired with touch, when it comes immediately after a charged physical moment, it becomes absolutely electric. A hug followed by that deliberate, lingering look feels like desire incarnate. It feels like everything you're not saying out loud. It forces her to imagine the thoughts running through your head. What is he thinking right now? Did he feel that too? Why is he looking at me like that? Does he want to kiss me? Here's your rule, and practice this because it takes confidence. Don't rush to kill the tension after you release her. Don't immediately look away or break the moment with words or movement. After you release her body, hold her eyes just 1 heartbeat longer than normal. Not a stare down, not an aggressive glare, not creepy or intense, just calm, steady presence. Soft eyes, slight smile maybe, and hold that contact until she breaks it. Let her be the one to look away first. That 1 second of sustained eye contact will stick in her mind far longer than any words you could have said. It will replay in her imagination at random moments, making her stomach flutter, making her wonder what it meant, keeping you alive in her thoughts. Bringing it all together. Here's the bottom line, and I want you to really hear this. It was never just about the hug. It's about the frame, the restraint, the masculine presence that turns even the smallest touch into something unforgettable. When you draw her in slowly instead of snatching, you demonstrate patience and confidence. When you place your hand on her lower back with calm authority, you communicate strength and protection. When you hold one beat longer than expected, you create desire through timing. When you let your cheek brush hers and your breath graze her neck, you activate her arousal circuitry. When you stay silent and let tension build, you force her imagination to run wild. When you slide your hand as you pull away, you leave ghost sensations on her skin. When you mix firm strength with gentle softness, you become the paradox she can't resist. And when you break first before she's ready, then lock eyes for one powerful second, you create psychological imprints that make her replay you for days, weeks, even months. You're not just hugging, you're creating an experience. You're orchestrating a moment that bypasses her logical brain and speaks directly to her nervous system, her evolutionary wiring, her deepest desires. Your action plan. Try this approach the next time you hug her. Slow down your draw in, take your time bringing her into your space. Place your hand on her lower back, not her shoulders. Hold 1 second longer than feels normal. Let your face get close enough that she feels your warmth and your breath. Stay completely silent. Don't explain, don't narrate, don't break the tension. Let your hands slide slowly as you release, creating that trail of sensation. Mix firm and gentle pressure throughout. Always break the hug first, with calm confidence, and lock eyes for one beat after you let go. Watch how she leans back in, how her breath catches, how she keeps looking at you differently afterward, how she finds excuses to be near you again. How she brings up that hug days later, trying to decode what it meant. That's when you know it's working. If this completely changed how you think about physical touch and the psychology of attraction, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment and tell me which secret shocked you the most. I'm Dr. Victoria Adams, and I read every single one of your comments. Thanks for watching. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep taking care of yourself.